Hello, namaste, namaskara to everybody. Welcome to CricTracker. Welcome to In the Air. I'm Nivedna Prabhu, and of course, you're joining us back again, once again, for this amazing live to talk about this amazing series, to talk about the dhamakedhar kind of ODI that has happened, and of course, who better to be with us in the studio than Rakesh himself, who's of course, a cricket coach as well as an amazing cricket analyst, and we've of course seen it, and we're going to talk to him more about it. But before we get talking, let's quickly find out from Rakesh his first thought about the match. Rakesh, we were talking earlier, but your first opinion
Yeah.
about the match.
I would like to apologize all our fans about the interruption. What happened because it was from my side. It was muted, so I apologize for that. But coming to the match again, yes, it was a wonderful game, and entire whatever it is, India have won the game. But putting that result aside, I thoroughly enjoyed Sam Curran's batting, the youngster, 23, 24-year-old youngster, giving heart attack, and giving that. One stop second, one for a 1 second, giving shock to all the Indian players or all the fans. It was
Yeah.
wonderful innings from Sam Curran, batting at number 8, scoring a 50-run partnership with Adil Rashid, another 50-run partnership Mark Wood. I think it was exceptional. Even if he wouldn't have slipped where Mark Wood got run out on that particular ball, I think that things would have gone different way, and England would have even won the game. Who knows? But that's the beauty of the game cricket. Anything can happen at any stage.
Happen.
At one point of time, not even England team management would have thought that England would get into this point and lose the game by this very little margin. But it was Sam Curran's show today. Yes, India won the game. India won the series, Test series, T20I series, and ODI series. But for today's game, it was Sam Curran who stole the show.
Of course, like I think I'll talk about that point. Very interesting is that yes, it was Sam Curran's show, and of course India won. But sometimes you take away the best performances, and I think Curran's performance is still reeling in our head. The best team was actually England today, or not best, let's say better team was actually England
Yep.
in terms of that performances. And like I had said initially as well, before we took that break, there's something about England teaching people to have that partnership. It's not about just the top order right until the last wicket. You're just like, what is happening? What kind of a partnership this is. So let's first take a quick look at the scorecard of both the teams. In terms of India, of course, set a target of 329 for they lost 7 wickets, and in terms of England, 322. I mean, how close is that? And if you look at those scores right there, Rishabh, of course, again performing exceptionally well, 78 runs, being the highest scorer for Team India. And Curran, of course, I mean, we cannot not go talking about him with 95 runs not out for 83 balls. And in terms of, I think Mark Wood also did how much ever he could. We could see that he was, even while batting, he was trying to give the strike to Curran how many ever times he could, like a really good partner. But of course, like Rakesh said, if it was not for that slip by Curran, then maybe things would have turned out differently. Mark Wood over there getting 3 for 34, and Shardul Thakur 4 for 67. So now I'm actually going to start off by talking to you, Rakesh, about Shardul Thakur. How can we not really talk about him? Just not about today's match, in terms of his performance in the series, looking at his stats as well. What would you like to say about this young lad?
I think we were already we have been talking about Shardul Thakur, the way he prepares himself, the way he practices his different skills, where he balls knuckle balls, slower ones, because we did see a lot of slow balls which have been bowled by Shardul Thakur in today's game. And
Yeah.
yes, he is been a little bit expensive. I think he will be more he'll be getting better by better after playing more games. But in terms of wicket taking ability, he's been exceptionally well, just because he has that skill of bowling slower ones at his time. Whenever he really want to bowl, he can just go ahead and bowl that slower ball, because as a fast bowler, when you're playing a limited over format, if you don't have variations, then it is going to become really hard. Yes, Test cricket, if you're playing Test cricket, you can survive with the particular skill whatever you have. But limited over cricket, and with this T20 coming up and people playing T20 cricket a lot, and last 10, 15, 20 overs is actually becoming like a 20-over cricket, even if it is 50-over cricket. So if you see, not just Shardul Thakur, the players who are having more variations, let's say let's take Natarajan. he's been the Yorker king, and because of his Yorkers today in the last over, I think it became a little more easy for India. Otherwise, people who can't bowl Yorkers, then if the ball is being in the slot, then it becomes easy for players like Sam Curran, who was already there in the form and scored some 60, 70 runs in that particular game. So you have to
Right.
have variations. Shardul Thakur is getting better and better with his variations. He really balls that off cutter ball really well, and then he really balls that knuckle ball. And because of his pace, he doesn't really have 140s or 150 clicks. The more it gets slower at the end overs of the game, then it frustrates the batsmen a lot. So that is good. That is one of the advantage what Shardul Thakur has. And even in the middle overs, he's doing the same thing. Whatever the wickets he has got, if we just go back and look at the videos what Shardul Thakur got wickets, most of them are cutters, slow bowlers, and knuckle balls. So this is a biggest asset for Shardul Thakur in terms of taking wickets. But like Zahir Khan previously mentioned about his skills, he's a silent hero of Indian bowling attack currently.
Well, yeah, I mean, looking at that performance, he's surely like someone who's just come out of nowhere and he's got all your attention, and rightly so, right? Surendra says hello to you, Rakesh. If you want to give him a shout out,
Thank you.
please do.
Hi.
I just want to now talk about one of the predictions that Rakesh, of course, did make about Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Let's take a look at his stats as well. There was something very interesting that Rakesh had told us about him. And what would you like to say now, looking at that kind of a performance in total? What do you want to say about Bhuvi?
See, Bhuvi is an experienced fast bowler for India, and he has been playing cricket for a long time. Yes, because of that injuries, he's been in and out, and from last 6 7 months, he has been not there with the team after that injury during the IPL. But the skill,
Yeah.
whatever you have learned, and the performance, whatever you have done before that injury, and after coming back, if you are very well experienced with your skill, and if you have been successful before the injury, so obviously you won't lose that skill. So there's always a saying, once a sports person, then you're always a sports person. So you have that skill inside your body, you know that how to execute it. It's just that
Yeah.
a matter of getting into that rhythm. So in that first game, when whatever he played in T20, yes, he was a little bit lacking with his rhythm, but once he got that rhythm, he's continuously giving the breakthroughs. And on crucial occasions like today's game, taking a wicket of Johnny Beres, I mean, breaking that partnership where those two are becoming like a dangerous pair during this series. If you look at their partnership in the first match, they gave 100-run partnership. In the second match, they gave 135-run partnership. Just because of Bhuvneshwar's breakthrough, if you look at
Yeah.
England's score, they lost 4 wickets for 95 runs. Where is 135 for 0 and where is 95 for 4? So definitely, with all his experience, Bhuvneshwar Kumar has given the breakthrough which India really wanted. Because at
Yeah.
some point of time, if you look at India's score, where we got 100-run partnership between Rohit and Shikhar, I guess. I mean, yes. And then Kohli got out quickly, and then we lost 3 wickets because we were talking about this thing in the pre-match show as well. If India loses that 2 3 quick wickets, then it's going to become really difficult. So that's
Correct.
what exactly India experienced. But later on, Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant, and a cameo innings from Shardul Thakur as well, that helped India to score 320 odd runs. Otherwise, at one point, with the way with the way Hardik and Rishabh was playing, it looked like India can easily score some 400 runs. But
Right.
it was, I would give credit to Bhuvneshwar also, because if you wouldn't have broken that partnership, Jason Roy
That would
and
have been great.
Barrister's partnership, it would have become really tough, because the 329, 330 runs, it's an easy target with the way they have played in first and second ODIs.
Right. And talking about that, we did, of course, start, for everyone who's just joined, welcome. What a fabulous, series this has been. And I will start on a very good note. Not surprised that man of the match is Sam Curran and man of the series is Johnny Besto. I think both of them well deserved, no doubts about that. They put out some really exceptional performance, given a tough fight to India. And I think that's what this match has been all about. It's not like we'd, spoken about, previously as well. If you're losing by, let's say, 100 odd runs, then you can understand that the one team is far better. But this match, every match that you observe, right from the test series to today's, last match, last ball, you're just sitting there and wondering what's going to happen. Like, for people like me, it's like, okay, I'm going to get a heart attack. Should I see? Shouldn't I see? Should I see? Shouldn't I see? So I think, like even Rakesh had pointed out, now the ODI also has become like a T20 format, which is all the more exciting. And I think, Rakesh, you also pointed out in terms of that for England, there was a little bit of pressure today because they had to prove themselves as the number one team in the world. Do you think is that what happened? That the pressure
See
got to them?
that definitely that pressure will be there because England have won the World Cup, and after the World Cup, England just lost only one series during the pandemic where England played against Australia. Other than
Right.
that, England have been consistently performing really well in 50-over format, and even in today's game, because this was the better chance for England to prove that they are still the number one team in 50-over format, and also that was a better chance for them to win a series in India, playing against India. This is always a tough thing for any outside countries like New Zealand, Australia, West Indies, England, or any country whichever comes to play in India. They really want to dominate India in India and win the series. And putting this whole tour in mind, they lost Test series, they lost ODI series, and they had this chance of winning the ODI series with the performance they have done in the first game.
Yeah.
But yes, when you are on the better side, and when you have better stats towards you, and when you're competing with an other side which is behind you, like England is number one and India is number two, so obviously the number one person will have pressure because they have to prove and they have to show that
Step up.
show that they are, yes, step up, and they are the best team and they deserve that spot. So it was little that kind of pressure, and also the opening partnership, the middle order, Ben Stokes, and even the captain really didn't perform in this ODI series. So all these things also matters, but they had the chance to win the series, so that made them to get under that pressure. That's what I think in today's game happened. But middle order and the batsmen and the opening partnership, that really hurt England's winning chances in today's game.
Also, if something that I'm pretty sure Ravi Shastri will be talking about today is the fact that so many of them had butterfingers. Like, what was happening in the last 5 overs with the whole fielding? Do you think that's worrisome, or it was just a bad day?
I don't think I mean, it's a bad day, because the way Sam Curran has played, he completely, almost 99 percentage, he took the game away from India's hand. So I don't think
Yeah.
that was a bad day. I would say both the teams really played well, but just that slight margin where India got a little bit upper hand with the last over of Natarajan or the over from Hardik Pandya. And there are few overs like that where they really balled it very tight during the last 5 overs. Hardik and Natarajan's last over, and even
Yeah.
Bhuvneshwar Kumar as well, where he has only 1 over left, and then Virat bought Bhuvi back, and then he really contained that runs. So otherwise, I don't say it was a bad day for India, but it was Sam Curran, Adil Rashid, I would say, even Mark Wood, I would say, they really supported
Yeah.
Sam Curran throughout the innings of that partnership, 50 run with Adil and with Mark Wood. Otherwise, it was, yes, it was really India had to work really hard, but that 5 overs. If you see Ravi Shastri, he generally doesn't come up. He generally doesn't walk. He just sits quiet, and then
Yeah.
he enjoys the game. But today we saw Ravi Shastri getting up, walking here and there, just being a little bit nervous. Yeah, but it was not a bad day. I would say England really played well.
I think he was also getting up to say, like, what are you doing in terms of fielding? Like, that was just a, hodgepodge kind of a situation. And, sometimes, of course, it happens, but it happened back to back, especially when it was such a high pressure game. But also, let's take a look at, two people who, of course, stepped up for India, like Rakesh pointed out, in terms of the batting lineup. Let's take a look at Rishabh Pant, who has done exceptionally well. Of course, he came in after Shreyas Iyer got injured. So if you look at that, his performance, 78 runs out of 62 balls, 5 fours, and four sixes, and a strike rate of 125.81. And that's quite a performance. Even his last previous match has been great. And I think, like Rakesh did say, they've done some exceptional things. Even Dhawan, for that matter, 67 runs, 50 out of 56 balls, 10 fours, 119.64 strike rate, and of course Hardik Pandya as well, who really sealed the deal for India once again. So when you look at all of them and all their performances, here you have 64 runs out of 44 balls, 5 6s, 4 4s, 145.45. I think these were, of course, the three players who cemented everything for India, like you had rightly pointed out, that if the start would have not been great, which actually happened once Kohli went, these three players really came in and, balanced it out.
See, the way Rishabh Pant has been performing after that, after IPL, he has been criticized for his fitness and all, and then he really worked during that. the way he has been performing from the Australian series, it's been very, very impressive. By series, match by match, he is getting better and better. He's not, I mean, the way he is getting better and better, the way he is playing matured innings, counter attacking the bowlers whenever it is required. Because after losing 3 wickets, definitely any team or any batsman and playing the last game of the series, which is the decider game of the series, definitely you will slow down your game. But if you see Rishabh, he didn't do anything. He was just going with his natural way, hitting sixes, hitting boundaries. The 1 6 which he hit over long on with one hand, then one shot which he played towards deep square leg, that was really wonderful to watch. So Rishabh Pant, I think he plays in his own natural way. I think it is so early to compare him with Virendra Sehwag. If you see Sehwag's batting also, he really doesn't care about what situation you are in, what is the situation
Correct.
of the game or anything. He just goes with his own flow. He is fearless. So that is what we are exactly seeing in Rishabh Pant's way, but not in a careless way or anything, but with a matured mind, he is playing his own game.
Right. So he's not reckless, but he's
Yes.
definitely going out there and showing that, if the pressure is on him, he's going to perform. And I think that's what happened after, of course, Shreyas Iyer went out. That's another interesting thing, right? Morgan would be so happy. He has so many reasons to be upset with the fact that he had to sit out because of his injury. But his boys really put up a great show. So, even in terms of Butler's captaincy, anything that you thought was quite impressive?
I think he really did a good job. I think, if I'm not wrong, this is the first time I think Butler has captained the England team. He was backing his bowlers because playing on flat pitch and playing on Indian conditions, obviously you will encounter the flat pitches. But the way he was
Yeah.
bowling up the bowlers and going to the bowlers, talking to them, giving that confidence and changing bowling changes also. If you see today's game, it was spinners who made that India or gave that breakthrough. 3 wickets. Virat and all these guys got out. Even Rohit Sharma or even all these guys who got out for spinners. So the way he is changing the bowlers at what time, at what context. So he has done a good job. Maybe Rajasthan Royals might also look into that option whenever
Yeah.
their regular under their regular captain's absentee, they might opt this guy to be the captain of the team too. I think he has done a decent job, very good job. Just 2 games, it's really hard to analyze the captaincy skill because that's the
Right.
toughest job. Because captaincy is not an easy job, and just with 2 games, we can't really analyze about the skills. But he has
Yeah.
done a decent job, I would say.
Okay, and on one hand, of course, we had Butler, stepping in as the stand-in captain. But you guys, if you can hear this very clearly, अगर आप सुन रहे हैं, तो विराट कोहली ने ये statement बताया है post-match presentation में that he is very surprised that Shardul wasn't the man of the match and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar wasn't the man of the series. तो आपको क्या कहना है इसके बारे में comment section में मुझे जरूर बताइए. Rakesh, what do you think of this? The statement that Kohli has
See,
just made.
I think giving man of the match to Sam Curran, I don't think that's a wrong decision because sometimes, yes, most of the times we generally see a winning team's player gets man of the match generally, but it's not about whether a winning team's player getting it or no. It's about the performance which really impressed, the performance which really changed the situations of the game. Because if you see, if Sam Curran wouldn't have scored that much, England would have lost the game by a big margin. So that is going to be generally that are the things which commentators or whoever is awarding that thing or whoever is deciding that man of the match. So these are the things
Yeah.
which really matters. It's not about whether it is winning team or losing team, but for man of the series as well. Yes, Bhuvaneshwar was in contention for the man of the series, but end of the day, the situation of the game you perform, the context of the game you perform, the partnership you are building with the players or the situation of the game. So all these things matters. But in terms of man of the match, I'm 100%. I'm not able to agree with Virat Kohli in just not giving man of the match to Shardul Thakur because if you look at his economy, also it's more than 6 runs per over. But if,
6 runs per over.
whereas Sam Curran's batting, I would be. It was absolutely fine giving the man of the match to Sam Curran. I don't see any doubt or any question about that.
In terms of course, him talking about, the fact about Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, what do you think about that? Because you had made predictions as well.
So yes, Bhuneshwar Kumar has performed really well, and he was in contention for the Man of the Series award as well. But look at the way how Barristo has built up the partnership, because both of the time, two times where they scored that 100-run partnership and 135-run partnership, and playing the bowlers very easily, comfortably hitting them out of the park. And if you look, Bhuneshwar Kumar in this game, yes, he took top order wickets, but in the last game, I think one of the games he was not up to the mark, and in the second game I think he took the wicket of late lower middle over batsman. So all these things matters too. And also if you look at Barristo's batting, he played all the top order, all the new bowlers, and all the bowlers who are there, the strike bowlers for the team. So but it's always a debatable question who has to be the man of the series, when a bowler performs really well, when a batsman performs really well. But sometimes all these stats, man of the matches, man of the series, slightly inclines towards the batsman. We have to accept that.
Yeah, I mean that's clear, right? And I think that's something that
Yes.
should totally change probably. तो आप लोग जो अभी अभी ट्यून इन किए हैं जल्दी से बताइए what is happening. Somebody is asking me to talk in Telugu. I'm sorry, I do not know Telugu, but I can say something in Kannada if you want. So comment and tell me. I'll say namaskara. But before that, of course, I'll let you go. And of course, you've spoken so much about this ODI series. Rakesh, the Indian T20 League is just around the corner. Before we close our eyes and open, we're going to be there. What are you
Yes.
expecting from all these players who are participating in it after looking at their exceptional performances? I don't think anybody is disappointed. So, going into the IPL, what are you predicting?
See, definitely, this will be definitely exciting all the fans, because last season we couldn't witness IPL happening in India. It went out, and it did happen in UAE, but this time it has come back to India, and we'll be seeing the great players like MS Dhoni in action. Rohit Sharma will be in action. Mumbai Indians, who won 5 times champions, and Chennai Super King stands next to Mumbai Indians, and Virat Kohli's team has done really well in the 2020th season, and Delhi Capitals have come to finals in the first time, and Chris Gayle, who has batted number 3, who hasn't really batted at number 3 in his entire career, very occasionally. So we have witnessed very versatile things in 2020 seasons IPL. So we are definitely going to have much better fun and joy watching this 2021's IPL edition. And there are few teams which will be disappointed because Jofra Archer is missing the first half of the IPL playing for Rajasthan Royals. Shreyas Iyer is out of IPL. So there are some injury concerns as well, but all the teams looks very well. The players in the teams are also very well balanced. I think every team looks pretty strong on paper. Even last season also every team looked pretty strong. That is the same. Yes, that is the same thing in this season's IPL as well. But let's see what's going to happen, and everybody will be so excited to watch this IPL.
And just one word before I let you go. Who do you think can replace Shreyas as the captain?
It's a big question, tough question, but the news, whatever is coming from the inside sources, is that they want the young guy Rishabh Pant to be the captain, because if they make Rishabh Pant as the captain for this season, they can really nurture him for the upcoming seasons as well. So I think Rishabh Pant will captain, but if they are looking for some experienced guy to captain, I think they'll go with Ravichandran Ashwin or Ajinkya Rahane. But I'm little bit. It's a little bit debatable thing whether they'll go with Ajinkya Rahane or no, because of the team combination. Because they can only play 4 players. Every team can only play 4 foreign players. So putting all those combinations in mind, if they want in youngster, they'll go with Rishabh Pant. If they want an experienced campaigner, then they might go with Ravichandran Ashwin ahead of Ajinkya Rahane.
Well, of course, having Rakesh with us on this show has been amazing, because whatever predictions he's made, it was bang on in this ODI series. And like he's just predicted, the captain for the Delhi franchise, अगर वो होने वाला है या नहीं, वो तो obviously 9th को ही पता चलेगा, या उससे पहले news आ जाएगी. But I'm pretty sure all of you are excited for the IPL now after this amazing ODI series. Thank you once again, Rakesh, for joining us on CricTracker. It's always a pleasure to be in conversation with cricket analyst of your caliber and your experience, because you have given us all the kind of right predictions, not only for the match but also in the point of view of how the performance is for cricketers, which is what makes a big difference. And for all of you who have tuned in, continue to stay tuned to CricTracker. Of course, this has been an amazing series. India and of course King Kohli and his co have managed to win that ODI series as well. Apart from, of course, the Test series as well as the T20Is, we're pretty sure England is going to be a little disappointed. But before you know, of course, they're going to be back in action for the IPL. And I'm going to see you very soon. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and don't forget that mask.